Do you guys have an AZ3 mount and it is just a little bit floppy and you want to make it more stronger? I had an idea. Let's get to it. Hey guys, welcome back to the Joe Jaguar Show one more time. Your best friend in science and astronomy, well I hope at least one of them. Okay, so first of all, these are made by several different companies, meade, Celestron, Orion, I heard of Skymender, that type of thing. This one actually had a top plate with a big thumb screw, so you can put a 120 thread telescope that way, or you can take it off and you put the rings on here and do it that way. For you guys that know, anything larger than like an 80 millimeter f5 short tube refractor or a smaller is fine, but then anything bigger, once you go that type of angle or more, the weight of it always slips. No matter how tight you put that nut, it just can't do it, So I've used it, it's okay for anything under, well, definitely has to be under 10 pounds, but even at 10 pounds or near it, it really can't do it. And I started doing this video and I forgot to turn on the camera. And then I was like, why am I showing you guys? So let's get to it. First thing I'm just going to do is put the legs all the way down. I guess I don't have to, but it'll be easier to work on it. Okay, so I have one of these extra counterweight bars and an extra 2.5 pound weight. Now, I can put more, of course, but here's what I was thinking. On the mount, there's obviously 2 holes, and sorry, I've already started drilling without showing you guys, but has 2 holes up here. I don't know if you can see that, and then 2 at the bottom. Okay, so what I'm thinking is, why don't I drill this hole big enough, and then that way I can counterbalance it with something like this. Anyway, do you understand what I mean? So this way, as you go closer to here, this is just a balance. So it's going to be an AZ3 with a balancing weight. So that way, if you have a slightly heavier load on there, instead of it just slipping, I'm hoping that this extra weight, and of course, you can put 2 or 3 or whatever you want on here just to balance it, and that will be the best of both worlds. So maybe if you have this type of mount. Okay, so I already started drilling the hole, and I just need like a millimeter more, and then I'm gonna try this. Let's see if it works first of all, and hopefully it does, otherwise, you know what I mean? Hopefully I don't make this hole big for nothing, but I'm still sure you can use it. So let's give it a go. I think it's almost there. Just needed a millimeter or 2 more. Yep, there we go. Okay. What I could do, put this nut here. Put the nut like that. Well, maybe I need a nut on the bottom too, so it doesn't, so that way it doesn't move up and down. Okay, but this is trial and error, of course. Let me put the weight on and see what happens. But of course I need to put something on top of here. So maybe I could give it a try with like a 4-inch f5 refractor maybe. Okay, so that's what it looks like now. Let me put it up. Okay, Angela is almost here. She was in the area doing something or meeting somebody or whatever, and then she decided to stop by. So I think she's going to be up in 1 or 2 minutes. So yeah, the only thing is it goes up this way. So I think if I get 2 nuts, one at the bottom, one at the top, then it'll keep it steady. But we could try it maybe by putting a telescope up here. And it's basically, I know what some of you might say, kind of looks almost like an EQ mount, but you don't still have to polar align. So if whatever part in the sky it is, I'm gonna fix it, don't worry. Whatever part it is in the sky, you just move it to that part, and then you can just start moving it up and down. Slow motion controls is working, look. Anyway, we're gonna try it out. I'll get back to you. Okay, I found another way. So I just put a type of thumb screw here that goes through here, and as long as the telescope goes over, which I think it just does, it'll be fine. But this might not be enough counterweight, but I have another one that's like 7.5 pounds, about 2.5 times this. It'll be thicker, so I need a longer screw. So instead of having a big long rod, well, that way, if you have to wait longer or further down, it will balance more heavier loads. But like this, it might be just enough, let's say with another one of these, or a double one underneath. So that might work. Oh, there's another option, pretty like rigid. Okay guys, so here's where I'm at. Remember the other photo? I'll put it up where I put that counterweight right to here. It might not work, and the reason is because the counterweight is kind of big. It actually covers that hole over there. So as long as you can get a thinner counterweight, that way could work. But look what I did here. So onto this big Vixen bar, I drilled a hole, then I tapped it. For you guys that don't know what that means like, you know how a has a thread. Because unlike this hole here, it's just screwed, there's no thread. I found it to be a bit more looser. Does that make sense? And this one that I actually threaded with a special tool, it's actually more rock solid. So, and it's a little bit further out, so it's not interfering with any of the head or the mount. So this kind of almost looks like an EQ2, but it's not an EQ2. It's in an altazimuth. I can still move the weight up and down. So you guys tell me, what do you think? If you have an AZ3, and you guys know it always tends to tip downwards a lot, right? Now, so if you do something like this that I showed you, maybe it could work if you put a counterweight over here, like I showed you before, or do this, and then this way you have best of both worlds. It can counterbalance, okay? You can move the weight up and down as you need, and then there you go. An AZ3, that could actually work. You don't have to worry about the angles or anything. So for instance, you don't have to polar align, right? And then twist it south. You just whatever angle you want to view, you view, up or down. Whatever, again, on that side, you could just view, and then that's it. So you don't have to polar align type of thing. You could just view it and see it staying at whatever angle I'm putting it at. So I think this way works out. So if you guys have an AZ3, and you have a counterweight bar and a couple little weights, this is each 2.5 pounds, total of 5 pounds. And there you go, a AZ3 that can counterbalance without any polar alignment, and it's just a bit heavier, but it works, it's probably not solid, okay? It probably would work much better on something like this type of mount, but this would be much more expensive. And if you guys already have an AZ3, why not try this out and see if it'll work for you? Okay guys, like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. If you know anybody getting into the hobby, share my channel with them. If you're on the forums, share my channel with them if they asked about a video. And I haven't seen anybody kind of do this type of fix specifically, so maybe that might help some people who have this mount. And I also have a members videos. Once a month, I put a video only strictly for them. You don't have to join if you don't want to, but it's only 99 cents a month. And that's it. Why not you? Why not me?